Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to Atlanta Grill Company. Today I have a beautiful tri-tip from Porter Road, and we're gonna take the Atlanta Grill Company Argentina steak seasoning and turn this guy into something incredible. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is introduce you to the star of this week's show, which is this beautiful dry-aged tri-tip from Porter Road. This is right at 2 pounds, and it's got a fat cap on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that guy over, and I'm just going to score the fat cap here in a diamond pattern. I don't want to cut down into the meat. I just want to get, you know, a nice little pattern started here so we can render that nicely as we cook. And now that that's scored, I'm ready to season, and we're going to use this month's Atlanta Grill Company Rub of the Month, which is the Argentina steak. This is going to make a beautiful seasoning for this beautiful tri-tip. So I'm going to put a nice liberal coat of that here on the fat cap, and I'm just going to kind of press that in to where it starts to adhere. Then we're going to flip that guy and give it an equally nice coat on the top side. And now what I'm going to do is what I always like to do. I'm going to vacuum seal this guy. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, just wrap it up tightly in plastic and put it in the refrigerator and let it ride overnight. So the first thing I want to do today is get my grill fired up. I'm going to cook on the PK300 Aaron Franklin edition today. So I've got a chimney of some briquette charcoal firing up here that we're going to use to start this cook. Okay, I've got my charcoal on the grill. Got it nice and hot. So I'm going to toss this tri-tip on, and we're going to put some sear on both sides of it and let that guy start searing. And after just a minute or so, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a flip. We're going to keep it moving because I don't want to over sear the outside of that, because we're going to finish it over indirect heat. And here, after about another minute with the fat side down, we're going to flip it again, and look at that, it's starting to develop some really nice color there. So we're going to flip it again here momentarily. And after about another 60 seconds here, let's give that guy a flip. That's starting to look pretty good there. And now we'll flip it once more. You just kind of like to keep it moving, and this guy's coming together beautifully. And I believe I'm pretty good with the color I have on that side. So we'll flip it one more and let a little bit more of that fat render. And at this point, I'm ready to take this guy off of direct heat. We're going to move it to the indirect side of this grill, and I'm going to let that finish over indirect heat for probably until I get the internal temperature of that up to about 115 before we move on to the next step of this cook. So at this point, I'm just going to close the lid, and I'm going to stoke the vents down to where we can bring the temperature down a little bit to finish that up. Okay guys, my tri-tip is right where I want it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this guy off and set it on a pan here and set it aside and just let it rest while we put together an amazing sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do to get my sauce started is I'm going to put my iron pan here over the coals, and I'm going to let that warm up. And as our pan warms up, I'm going to toss in some butter, and we're going to get that melted. And as our butter's melting, I'm going to put in maybe a tablespoon or so of our Argentina steak seasoning. And once my butter starts to froth a little bit there, I'm going to dump in some sliced baby Bella mushrooms, and we're going to kind of saute these down a little bit. And as these mushrooms start to shrink up, I've got some garlic. We're going to put some chopped garlic in there and let that really become fragrant as well. And as that garlic becomes fragrant, we're going to toss in just a splash of bourbon to this. And we're gonna let that reduce for a moment. And after that bourbon has a chance to reduce, I'm gonna pour in a little bit of heavy cream. And I'm just gonna stir this, and we're gonna incorporate some heavy cream just to thicken this up. It may take a little bit more. You're gonna kind of have to eyeball this to get it just right. And guys, this looks pretty good right here. This is about a consistency I'm looking for. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this just another minute or so, and I'm gonna stir it as I'm going, and then I'm gonna move it off the heat, and then we'll get our tri-tip out and start putting this together. Okay guys, I've got this guy out here, so I'm gonna just first of all take a slice against the grain here in the middle and let you have a look at this guy. This looks pretty darn good. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and slice it. And then what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna dress this with some of that sauce that we made, that mushroom bourbon cream sauce. And man, I wish you could smell this stuff. It smells crazy. So while that's still nice and warm, let me just take a taste off of this piece right here. That's looking amazing. Guys, this is crazy. You're gonna have to give this a shot. Let me know what you think. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Atlanta Grill Company.